Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Jessie. I'm gonna have an immersive English learning channel. Let's practice IELTS speaking English with me. Let's go. So, in my video, I'm gonna talk about part 2 and part 3 of IELTS speaking exam. For in the part 2, I'm gonna give you one example, and also you can find a script underneath. And for the part 3, usually part 3 can determine whether we can get a higher score or not for IELTS speaking exam. Although the examiner only give us like no more than 5 minutes to answer all the questions. In my video, I'm gonna give you one example of part 3, and I would try to extend my answer as much as I can, so I to give you more thoughts about how to answer part 3. Okay, let's go. For today's topic about part 2, describe a noisy place you have been to. Well, off the top of my head is a festival music concert attended recently. Even though I was not big on those music festival concerts, because I always feel like it was so crowded and quite noisy. However, somehow I changed my mindset. Ever since I survived through the COVID-19 and during all those years, I just stuck myself at home. So I desperately wanted to just throw myself into the crowds, enjoy the hustle bustle of city life. And I also have this kind of revenge spending. I just want to spend money on something special. And it happened that one of my friends bought 2 tickets for this music festival. So I thought, why not just try to experience something new? Thus, I decided to come with her. I really remember that this concert held 2 months ago, and it was held in an open area, which was between a promenade and the high-rise buildings in the central area in Hong Kong Island. So the stage was temporarily set up, and there are 3 large screens behind the stage. And there is no fixed seats for audience, so first come, first get. I remember that my friend and I was a little bit late for this event, so when I arrived at this venue, this place has been packed with a lot of people. I didn't want to squeeze with others or in the crowd, so I decided to find some place with a good view but less people. And it turned out that I found this place. It was just beside the stage, in left-hand side. It was one step away from the stage. That's we definitely can have a good view, and there were less people. I didn't even give a second thought about the reason why. Well, this place has a fewer people, but it turned out that one of those performance stage on, I just realized that how naive I was, because I was standing beside a large speaker. For those electronic music festival, they're gonna play very strong rhythmic music. That's the volume music up to the maximum level, and the speaker was just exposed to my left ear. When I realized I wanted to change place, but it was already too late because even the most crowded place has been packed like a sardine can. I had to make do with putting up this large speaker and spending almost 3 hours for the whole night standing in this area. I just feel like it was such a nightmare because the concert itself was so noisy, as there are more than 1,000 audience inside of this venue. On top of that, the electronic music concert just plays such outrageously noisy music with this large amplifier exposed to my left hand side. I just feel like every nerve and every vein in my body it vibrated. My heart would pump out of my mouth. And also, this place has a perfect combination of clapping, shouting, praying, screaming, and conversation between thousands of audience in this area. I just feel like quite dizzy after standing there for no more than 10 minutes. I got no how to push through and hanging there till the end of this event. I didn't want to bummer and so leave this place in advance because my friend seems quite interested in this music concert. So how I feel about this? Well, to be honest, I regretted that I come to this music festival. I should just stick to my initial instinct and never ever like this kind of a crowded music concert. Even though I like those rock music, but somehow I want to quietly sit in a fixed seat. I don't want to be pushed around by the crowds, squeeze into the areas to get a better view, something like that. And secondly, the 90% of those electronic music were alien to me because I just feel like all those music were from those North European music. All those audience around me wave their bodies with rhythm, and they feel like quite enjoy this music. and they can even sing with the music. But for me, I find it hard, soaking the atmosphere. I find hard to empathize with them because I barely know any of those music. And the most important reason that I feel so regretful to attend this event, this concert just impaired my hearing system temporarily, because after this concert I just feel like I lost my hearing and my ear together. I barely can hear anything during that night, and there was a low frequency constant noise. It kept ringing in my head and in my mind for the whole night, and this kept me alive. Next day I had to go back to work, but I just feel so drowsy for the whole day. And for the next day, my hearing was not going back to normal. So when my colleagues and my boss were chatting about some business, and I find hard to just listen to them, I have to lean forward, to catch the words. This was crazy. And finally, day after tomorrow, my hearing got back to normal again. I just feel like somehow we cannot constantly expose my ear, to such a noisy environment. Otherwise, it is definitely destroy our accuracy and acuity of our inner function of our ear. And I cannot imagine how those DJ in nightclubs or in the bars or some music performers could be able to build such constant large value music events. So somehow this is like a special experience I had in my life. That's all. Thank you. Well, the question for the part 3, do you think it's good for children to make noise? Well, on one hand, I just feel like in many ways it is beneficial for kids, to ask questions, to make some noise in proper age, which is like an important part of their development process, as they're gonna be able, to know how to express their emotion, their feeling and thoughts. As when children feel free to ask questions and chat with their friends and families to vent out their feelings when they feel sad, or share their ideas or thinkings when they feel happy, and then they will become more confident in themselves. They dare to speak up in the public, they become more articulated, they can learn things faster. Otherwise, if the children always have a lot of consideration, as they are strictly supervised by the parents, somehow they dare not to speak or make noise in any circumstances. Probably they become a little bit inconfident and timid. They always have a lot of concerns. Somehow it's definitely not good for their development and growth. And especially in certain circumstances, children making noise is like a way to send some signals about something like, oh, I am in danger, or I feel sad, or I have some emotional feelings, or I was under weather, or something like that. Especially for infants, somehow they cannot communicate efficiently with, their parents or other adults. Somehow, it is better for them to make some noise, such as, they cry, they scream, or they just, throw things, to make some noise. This is like a great way to send a signal to their parents, like, I was out of sorts, I just have a cough, I had a fever, I feel unhappy, I'm hungry, I just want to go to sleep, something like that. This is really important. However, on the other hand, somehow, I feel like in some circumstances, children should not make noise in inappropriate situations. For example, in quiet movie theater or in an auditorium where you enjoy a music concert or something like that, or you are in a hospital or the patient ward, where the patients need to have sufficient sleep to recover, or you are in a restaurant, you are in a library, or the kids are just attending a course in the school, or the kids are in the study rooms or some tutorial course centers or something like that, or the kids are in a carriage of a running train or subway. And in all those public places, it is better to allow the children know that they cannot make any noise at all. Just imagine that in this carriage of a running train, if the several kids have a lot of running, chasing, and making a lot of high frequency noises such as shouting, screaming, laughing, throwing a tantrum, crying around, constantly, for 3 hours. When you just want to just have a sleep in the train which is handing to the destination for your business trip. Majority of us cannot bear it, definitely. So somehow I feel like if children make inappropriate noise in the public, somehow the parents need to guide them, to educate them to well behave. Otherwise, children definitely would not have the awareness, to value down their voice, to behave good in the public. Somehow they would have a negative impact on their future social life and their life in the school as well. Okay, this is my answer. Thank you. Alright, this is the end of my video. If you like my video, please thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, you are really welcome to leave a message. If you want to know more about IELTS speaking exam, please subscribe me and ring the bell. You will never miss my updates. Okay, thank you. Bye.